All right, folks. I know some of you are already pissed off, right? You're pissed off because I changed something that makes my eyes feel better when I'm looking at it. Okay? Understand this. This is how I have to do it. I've gone through so many pairs of glasses. I've seen eye doctors enough times now to know that I got to make this change. And I know some of you are going to bellyache. I know some of you are going to complain. I know some of you are going to go into the comment section in the forum and in the videos on the YouTube channel and complain that this is not what you want. I'm sorry, but this is what I need. Okay, I need this. So, yes, I wanted to start this video up abruptly like that because I already got emails being pushed to me. I don't like your charts now. Okay, don't look at them. All right, because I have to preserve my vision. And many of you ask what my actual charts look like when I'm in my actual trading platforms. This is what they look like. This is the colors I use. This is what I do. Okay. For teaching purposes, I try to accommodate everybody, the best I can, but I have to be selfish when it comes to this. I only have one set of eyes. So if I blow them out more than I already have, trying to make everybody happy, what good is that going to do me? I like all of you. I care for you all. But if you're going to selfishly complain to me in the comment section on my YouTube videos or send me emails about how I'm going to use this color from now on, don't bother sending it. Because I promise you, if you send me something like that, I'm just going to ban your email address and you'll never be able to send me anything. Okay? So there it is. I don't mind listening to people's suggestions, but drilling me about what I need to do, I don't want to do this. If I could stay looking at black and white with the green and the black handles, I'd prefer that. I would prefer it, but I can't tolerate it. My eyes will not let me do it. Okay. So it affects me in my own live trading now because my vision has been reduced and I have just got my prescription updated. So just know that I'm not trying to do these things to upset the apple cart. I'm not trying to do things to change things for the sake of changing. This is a necessity on my part. So please, if I see any complaints, I'm deleting you. Okay? Because it's disrespectful and I need this to be this way. I know it's not convenient for some of you. Okay? Some of you can't take this and go out there and print things to make books out of it anymore because it costs too much for ink now. I know about that stuff too. Okay? Just know that what I'm doing it as a medical need. That's all. That's all it is. So, and the last bit of business, since I got your attention and probably torqued all of you up out of your comfort zone, the playlist mark guy. Don't come into my comment section on YouTube and complain and cry that I'm spending more time over there. You have no idea how long I've been working the last 2 weeks on videos, correcting the server issues, working with people's accounts. And yes, I'm making videos too. I'm dropping all of the price action models all at one time. So that way you all know once I post them, you're not to sit there and watch them. You sit there and you download them. Because when the server goes, it's gone. It's done. I'm getting videos together also that is the gap between 2017 August and I think it's February 2018. I have all those videos I'm working on. Okay, while you're enjoying your weekend waiting for videos to drop from me, I'm still working. Okay, I know I have a deadline at the end of this month, so please don't complain to me in the video comment section. Okay, oh, I spend more time on YouTube. That's my peace of mind time. Okay, that's what I do to do things that I feel I enjoy doing. Here, it's laborious. I have a lot of stuff I got to get done. I know what my deadline is. So, any of you complaining to me like that, absolutely, I'm not interested in hearing from you anymore. Okay? Because what you're doing is being unreasonable. You're being told what's going to happen before it happens. That YouTube community, they have no idea what's going to happen next. None. So I had to get that off my chest. Got a little pissed off today. So, as a community, I brought it all to you collectively. So that way you don't know what my stance is. And if you really want to sit down and write me emails or if you want to send something in my comment section, yeah, you can say anything you want in your last comment because I'm going to just make you invisible. I won't pay any attention to you anymore. And it's not a lottery, folks, to get a reply from me. It's next to impossible to get an email reply. There's too many of you. Okay. Now go over to that YouTube channel. That's the only reason why I opened that comment section up on YouTube. That's the only reason why, folks. Because I want you all that sit in here and complain about how I can't get back to your individual email in a timely manner, when it's most of the time things I've already talked about in the commentaries anyway. I want you to imagine that was you having to answer every single one of those comments. And I'm telling you, that's nothing compared to all of you that send me emails. I can't get to all of them. I can't. Not physically, humanly possible. I can't do it. So, crying to me in the comment section, that's the easiest way to offend me, and you don't appear anymore. I don't want to see that. Nobody cares, okay? The real people here that are studying and appreciate what they're getting, they know how much work I'm putting here. They know. They know what they've received and what they continuously receive. So this is another reason why I don't want to take more students in, because I'm tired of the bellyaching crybabies, man. I'm sick of it. I want it my way mentorship when I've already outlined what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. I can't wait to get through the video aspect of this mentorship. I can't wait, because once that's done, a huge headache will be removed from my personal life. And then you're going to be able to see a much nicer flow of information, content, all by picture format. Real easy, because then I'll be able to manage my personal time a lot more effectively, because it consumes too much of my time. So some of you guys in here want to try to tell me how I spend my personal time. You need to mind your own business. All right, so with all that said, and I apologize for those that don't really necessarily need to hear that, but I want to say it here openly so that we all know. Daily chart on the dollar index. All right, we hit our 105 level. And to me, it needs to defend this area in here. If it cannot find some support to send it higher, we're going to probably work lower and attack the sell side below here. That opens the gates for upside potential on cable and euro, and also sets the stage for a deeper retracement on index futures. All right, dollar index hourly chart. You can see we hit that again, 105 level, and then just nasty little consolidation, and then finally breaking lower. There really isn't any imbalance on this time frame. We'll see it on the 15-minute time frame in a moment, but these lows in here, that to me looks suspect now. Okay, so it needs to spring back to life, tomorrow or overnight, or we're probably going down here. I guess the question is what do I prefer? I think it would be constructive to see it go down there if it's going to be going higher longer term. Like if we're looking for like 106, 107 and a half, that sort of target on the upside, that would, in my mind, require us to go into here. But on a near term, if it's just going to press deeper into the 105s, it needs to find that turn here. But longer term, it doesn't upset anything if it goes down here. Okay, I wanted to clarify that. Anyway, dollar index, just real choppy and sloppy in here, but just working lower, digging against the primary trend that's on the daily chart. This is that little area I mentioned we would see on the 15-minute time frame. See down here, it could be just going into that area to rebalance that, and maybe we'll see it try to work higher. If it goes into this area here and then rallies up and fails here and breaks lower, then we're probably going to go significantly lower on dollar index. If we get above this imbalance and find some support, then everything should resume going back higher above 105, maybe 106. All right, euro dollar daily chart. And again, mentioned that it failed to get down to my downside objective, but dollar did hit my 105 level. So a failure in euro, but a success in dollar. But we are working up inside this SIBI, sell sign of balance, buy sign of efficiency. And that right there, closing that in entirely, that to me is not good for going lower. We want to see some of this stay open. Okay, if it stays open, that means we're likely to continue going lower. If it completely closes in, to me, that is not needed. Okay, because we're already down in a deep discount. So if we're on a deep discount like this, then it won't need to come back up to rebalance. It's going to come back up to that level if we made an important low down here. And if it goes back up into here, then we're probably going to dig into this area here. That's my view on it. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm sure some of you aren't satisfied with that response. The fact that we've traded so far down, say from up here, okay, we moved a considerable amount of range. This imbalance so late in the game and close to our objective down here, just because I have that target or you have a target on your chart doesn't mean it's going to hit it. So this is like a best case scenario. Technically, in trading what we see in the chart, this imbalance is just a run below this consolidation. So many times the market creates a low like that, where it'll go down, crouch, just hang above, right above the target you're looking for. And then one candle slams down and then reverses. And then this will become a breaker, bullish breaker. That's kind of like what I'm thinking. But if it leaves some of this open and starts to resume lower, then that's bearish. I like that. But if it completely closes in that imbalance, not good. All right, here is the hourly chart. And I like this imbalance up here. This is sloppy, but it worked towards the buy side here. And the next upside is the discount low of the SIBI over here. And consequent encroachment, and then the premium high of that SIBI. On the 15-minute time frame for euro, you can see the imbalance is really obvious in this time frame here. And it looks like we're working towards that. We have relative equal lows in here, and they drove down below that and then sent it higher with a weaker dollar. And equities had an increase as a result of that too. So it seemed like everything got dropped just to take out overnight lows, and then they started building in a bid on it and sent it higher. British pound daily chart. Okay, this one here. I like the idea of it going up into this area here. We have relative equal highs here as well. So we'll see if it wants to get up into that area. We definitely have a swing low in formation now. So the next candle, if we get some movement on the outside, it should have this area in its targets. All right, here we have a potential market maker buy model. Original consolidation, returns to consolidation, distribution, redistribution, smart money reversal, low risk buy, accumulation, and likely to raid that 124 level. And the 15-minute time frame, pound dollar. Here's the opening price at midnight. I don't really want to call it a Judas swing because it's just really sloppy, but it went lower below the opening price. Spent a lot of time down below there. Sent it higher, consolidated once more, dipped right below the opening price at midnight, and then and only then off to the races. Now, when you see me cover the E-mini S&P tonight on YouTube, what I'm about to show you here, just know that that's what's lacking over there, okay? But the snap lower on dollar, that risk on event, that was fuel for me to trust the technicals that I've seen in the E-mini S&P. I used the logic that was shared publicly on the YouTube comments with that NASDAQ objective, 12,553 and a quarter level, that I think that the market could gravitate towards because those highs are just too clean. But technically, everything shifted intraday around, I don't know, like 11:15, 11:20, and between 11 and 11:30, let's just call it that. Everything was risk on because the dollar broke lower, and I used that as my intermarket relationship. So I'm not covering that over there on YouTube tonight, so I want you to understand that. All right, speaking of which, E-mini S&P is our June contract 2022 daily chart. All right, so we had a swing low in formation posted before the trading day began today. And I mentioned that we had volume imbalance up in here. And compare and contrast that with what the NASDAQ had on its daily chart. And I'll briefly show that tonight because I want to kind of like make sure that it's utilized in the commentary that I give for YouTube. But for all of you, this area here, you've known about this. We're likely to see it draw up into that. So I like this area as an upside objective. So with the swing low, this imbalance, volume imbalance, the likelihood, and it's Monday, we're likely to see it when you try to gravitate towards this area here. Also, the relative equal highs at 12,553 and a quarter on NASDAQ. Okay, so those were my premium arrays I was looking for. We came down a lot, and Friday we had a nice little bit of a retracement, sets the stage for continuation on the upside. All right, here is the hourly chart on EMA S&P. And as you can see, Sunday's trading, Monday's trading, really, really hard read, okay? I'm not going to sit here and try to make it sound like this was easy for any of you to be able to decipher, okay? It's kind of like one of the hardest, sloppiest ranges to work in like that, okay? But I'm going to tell you what I utilized. That way you can see what was behind the scenes, why I was doing what I was doing this morning, and shared what I shared, okay? Relative equal lows, you see that? We went below it and then created another set of relative equal lows. Now, think about what I'm teaching and what people all over the internet now know, how the market typically runs for these relative equal lows, and that low resistance liquidity run seems easy. But if you don't understand the narrative, you can fall victim to it, okay? So what I saw this morning was the algorithm already running out these relative equal lows here. These relative equal lows here are a trap. And I'll go into the lower time frame and explain more. Here's those relative equal lows. And then we went down below it here at 9:30 equities open. This area here where sell stops and sell side liquidity is, they purged that. And they did it with relative equal lows. So when the market ran up and started to drop down, in here, everyone's going to be expecting what? Oh, these double bottoms is going to run that. No, because that work has already been done over here. Okay, so narrative is what? They set the stage after taking these out here, knowing that people on these lower time frames are going to be looking at this area here, and it's going to look like obvious relative equal lows. And when it's dropping like this, they're going to expect it to do what? What I've been teaching, right? Wrong, because over here, that already has been utilized. So the algorithm has already went down here to do that work. These are in place for the morning session. So now it's going to run towards the lunch hour to take out opposing liquidity. So if it did what down here? What was it doing down here? Taking sell side liquidity into the marketplace. Counter liquidity is what? Buy side liquidity. So buy side liquidity is going to be above here. Okay. Now, this whole run here and here looks like chop and slop. But watch what happens now. If you understand what I just gave you. On a 5-minute chart, here's those relative equal lows. We break lower. I'm going to talk about this setup in here during the YouTube session. So it's not that big of a deal. I got to give them something that's not this. But we have relative equal lows down here. The market creates this drop. Failure swing to go below the low here. Rallies, takes out the short-term high. I don't expect you to see it here. Maybe some of you see it. But it's the 5-minute chart creating these relative equal lows. This high drops down. Failure swing, rallies up. You should be able to see it now. Zoomed in on a 1-minute chart. Here it is. The market maker buy model. This is my fractal. This is my pattern. This is what I teach you in the price action model number 6 and 7. All of you in here that are impatiently complaining wondering when's the next price action model algorithmic theory coming? What are you doing with what I'm teaching here? Because I am literally teaching you as the mentorship group how much time you have wasted. You have wasted this time, not me. I've been calling the market, telling you where it's going to go, and you should be going through these charts and trying to figure out what model you like, because you already have the model. The algorithmic principles and theory, you should already come to that conclusion if you've been going through the mentorship, because I gave it to you in trading plan format. Algorithmically, it's me going in and showing you what it looks like applied. You don't need that, but you think you do. Demanding that you have all the price action models right now, all of them right now. Okay. What have you done with them thus far? Did you do any of what I've done with this one here? Because this one's price action model number 13. This one here is simply taking pieces of every idea and concept and foundational approach that you learned in core content and commentaries, and I'm applying it to a model that is easy. It's stripped down easy. For you as a mentorship student, it's real easy because you can go in and find the narrative, find the logic. What is it doing? Look at this. Original consolidation. What's above that? Buy side liquidity. It breaks down, returns back to the original consolidation, distribution, sells off, distribution, smart money reversal. Did I buy anything in here? No. Am I shorting all this? Nope. None of this in here made sense to me. Didn't want to do anything with it. The market breaks a short-term high here, creates an imbalance, fair value gap, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Extend it out in time. Watching the dollar, I saw the dollar snap lower. That means what? Risk on. Risk on causes the dollar to go lower. Risk on allows other assets to rise against the dollar, like foreign currencies going up, and equities are allowed to freely trade higher. Now, contrast what the dollar index market structure looked like. It was kind of sloppy, right? But it was still going lower. So what I've done this morning was I was looking at this logic here and said, okay, I know the dollar's going lower, and I want to be long on E-mini S&P because it had its SMT divergence. It failed to go lower like the NASDAQ did. So I'm buying the stronger one, like I mentioned in that little clip on YouTube. That SMT divergence helped me go in and pick the ES over NQ. Even though NQ started the whole idea last week when I said 12,553 and a quarter was my level. I was interested to see if it could draw up into that level for NASDAQ. So if NASDAQ's likely to go up there, won't it by default likely pull E-mini S&P up too? Because all boats rise in the high tide, right? Well, at the time of doing anything on a Monday trading, it just so happened that ES was showing the relative strength because it made a higher low. So the SMT divergence between ES and NQ, I capitalized on. And I looked at the market like this, okay? I waited for this imbalance to be traded to again. It traded to it, but I couldn't get my screen recorder opened up fast enough because Camtasia, sometimes it'll, like if you press the record button, it'll sit there and wait a minute before it pops up and then gives you the opportunity to set your settings. So I was freaking out because I really wanted to get it recorded for you all. But anyway, I missed the actual entry in here, and this was the candle I actually got in on. Okay, and you'll actually see all the fills. I'll show you everything in the YouTube channel tonight because they're more interested in all that stuff. And then there's another imbalance in here that I bought more on, and I'm on a limit order. You saw that order get filled. The bodies are respecting the imbalance here, and then it rallies. Okay, now why did I feel comfortable taking this long with this fair value gap? Over here, this is up close candles before it drops down. So all these areas here where there was up candles to the left of the curve is sell side. To the right of the curve is buy side. So I matched up the sell side over here, cut through all these candles. Sorry, Sam Seiden, we are not supply and demand. That's what I'm focusing on over here. The logic, the algorithm's thinking back here. Okay. You're seeing this and YouTube's seeing just this fair value gap. You all know because of what I'm teaching you, my fractal, the market maker buy model. This logic carried through over here. That's why I bought there. Okay. Over here, why did I buy here? Right before this low, what was here? Up close candle, drag that through. We had this imbalance too. So it's strong. I can beat close proximity entry. That's what I want to talk about with YouTube tonight. Kind of like give them an impression that they don't have to have the precise entry. Because honestly, the last few videos I've put on YouTube is me showing off. Okay. I'm really driving a nail in the coffin for people that try to say that I use a rented MT4 server, because literally it's a joke. Okay. If you can't see this being done, and I'm multiplying the account, hundreds of percent in just a couple days, come on. Anybody that argues now about it is they just are choosing to be stubborn, okay, or just trying to be a troublemaker. But I'm going to clear the account tonight when I do the YouTube video and go back to doing, more reasonable leverage. That way they'll know what it would look like for them if they're developing. Because really, some of them are getting a sugar high and like, man, I want to do that. And they don't have the skill set to do that. But anyway, this area over here, distribution, carry it through the curve. That's this point here. It's sell side over here, and then crossing this low to the right, it becomes what? A future area of accumulation. Distribution, these up close candles here, are now areas of accumulation. So it had a down close candle here. I showed in the recording, right on this candle, it's going to start going higher. If you look over here, why? What I'm discussing here. Then when it dropped down, that's why I facetiously said, stop thinking it's going to drop in reverse. Because this is just optimal trade entry in an old area of distribution, now becomes accumulation. That's what's taught to you here. I'm not spelling that out over there. Okay. I'm not teaching them that. You're entitled to that, but they're not entitled to that. So there's a difference here, folks. I know some of you get your tail feathers all bent out of shape, okay, because you want to control what I do. Like, I'm not allowed to talk to anybody else about markets or trading or do anything outside of this mentorship, and you don't own me, okay? I just want to make sure that folks in here that are trying to strong arm me, okay, understand that you don't own me. I do whatever I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. And anytime someone tries to put me in a box or, say I shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, when it goes against my nature, that offends me. And I'm not interested in hearing from those people anymore. And you may be a student here, but that doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to do whatever I want to do. The real students here know what's being shown, and by contrast. The idea of it running down into this old area of accumulation, or distribution now becoming accumulation, sets the stage for another run. When this candle created this low here, okay, I drew the high and the open. So when the market traded into that, we can anticipate what? The rally higher. Then it started to do what? Crouch below the liquidity. When they see these swing points in here and it's down closed candle, when it was forming, I guarantee you when they were watching, they're like, oh, this is going to go down. It's probably going to go down to this again. It's going to go down below here. They have no idea what they're looking at. You understand that this is crouching below the objective. And I already had the bagged and tagged logo ready to go. And then once it hit the limit order, boom. Now, I am a little disappointed because I thought I was going to get the actual high tick. I was trying my hardest to get it, but it went one more time, just a little bit above it. I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm off by 1.5. I have to double check that tonight. But I think I was off by 1.5 handles. And then it dropped back down, went back into this area a little bit deeper. Buying here, full exit here. So I was asked by a couple people in the mentorship, can I do a full pull on like a trade? Like, if instead of taking out scalings and such, can I do the whole thing and not do any scaling? Well, you're going to need the market maker buy model and sell model to do that. So to answer that question, for those that have same thought process along the lines of, why do I take some trades with partials and when do I hold for the whole thing? If I'm doing like the second stage accumulation and I'm looking for this objective here, and I say I entered here and here, or if I'm doing down here on the first accumulation and ride out the second stage of reaccumulation to get to my objective, either one of these, I'll do a full pull, or I'll build in and pyramid in that. I won't try to do like scalps, that would be counter trend over here because I can do both sides. I wouldn't try to do full pulls on that. And a full pull is whatever I put on the trade, say it's 10 contracts, I take off the full 10 at my exit. I don't take any partials. Over here, this is where I'm trying to do full pulls or pyramid, build it up more. If I'm trading against this trend down here, like little tiny little scalps back and forth and building it up, going nuts, that's the kind of stuff I did on Twitter. This would require me to take partials because I want to make sure I'm getting paid. Whereas over here, I feel like I have a whole lot more things behind me, so I'm going to hold out for the objectives that the models call for, or build in like you see me here doing at the accumulation, reaccumulation, and ride it out. So hopefully that was insightful to you all. And again, please don't be offended by my tone, but I've had enough of it. Okay, I've had enough of people, trying to tell me how I should act and how I should behave on my own personal time. So just know something, folks. Okay, what prevents me from going out there doing what I do for you here on YouTube? What prevents that? My character, my word. I'm holding that. You see me doing it. You get far more than they ever will. But I'm helping these people more ways than they realize, because what's coming, you've already been told, and it's about to get really bad. And things are going to start getting really, really difficult for people. And it helps me have a clear conscience because I'm telling them all no. Because we have a canned response when 2,000-3,000 emails a week coming in. Can I join your mentorship? I want to join your paid mentorship. We just click the copy and paste. Here's your response. Sorry, we're not taking any. Go to the YouTube channel, and there it is. So I feel guilty, but I am done. I am so done. I don't want anybody ever sending me monthly payments for anything. It's garbage. It's such a stress. But it gives me this guilt trip because all of them feel like, because they just discovered me, they feel like they can't be part of the community when they are part of the community over there. So you know what would help me be a better mentor here for you? Is to encourage them over there. Some of you are doing it, and I respect that. And I'm so thankful that you're doing that. Some of you have a case of the ass, okay, and offended that, hey, you shouldn't be teaching that over there. You should have done that for us. I feel cheated. Know what? Here's what you should have been doing. You should have been doing this all along anyway. I've told you all from the beginning. The very first lessons in 2016. Go through the mentorship a couple times, because I guarantee you, you're going to find me talking about the very things that you see me doing in that model that I've shown on YouTube. Strip it down. Take the things that make the most sense to you. Don't try to apply everything. That's what I talked about throughout this entire 6-year pattern of going through the motions of teaching and concepts and showing you where the market's going to go beforehand. All that stuff should have been done by you. You should have came to that realization. But because you have so many things laid in front of you, you can't decide. It ain't because I can't make it work. You can't decide what you want to do with it. Well, you should be able to do this and do this. Right, I've done that with the price action models. You don't even need the algorithmic theory. You don't need that. All of you have plenty to choose from, but you have to go through the hard work of going through your own personality. And some of you have some real issues personality-wise and psychologically. You're wrestling with things that don't matter that much, and you make them mountains. And the things that are more important, you do nothing with. You don't spend any time with trying to make these things yours. Some of you got so offended that you went over to the community posts in the YouTube videos and said, this is unfair. I paid mentorship, and he gave this straight, easy approach to doing mentorship stuff. I feel cheated. You know what I feel? I feel disrespected as the mentor. because I've poured myself into this for years. And you know who you are, that made that kind of post in my YouTube channel, you failed. I didn't fail. And I didn't rob any of you. I've done you a great service because I've showed, number one, and I want you to understand this in closing. See, a lot of you think the mentorship is ending because the videos are stopping. That's not true. All I'm doing is making it easier for me. But some of you in here that are selling my videos still, I'm removing your market. I'm removing your liquidity because I'm going to push my channel so hard to let people know that this one model, this one approach, this one model, they will never need to buy your copies to make you money that way. And I don't care if it pisses you off. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care how many accounts you make and you sock puppet and you troll and say whatever you want to say on the internet. I don't care because people see it. They've already seen it on a live account. They've seen me run this demo account up just like I was doing on Twitter with no rented MT4 server. It's too late in the game for any of those people to be convinced that this doesn't work. It absolutely does. So when you all get pissed off and you're wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing over on YouTube, I'm protecting your investment. I'm protecting your investment. Because frankly, I don't care. Those videos are all over the place now. But when I do these videos, understand that I'm doing it for the next day most of the time. So it's not that useful to them. Getting old copies, I don't care. It's stale. They're still not going to understand what they're doing with it because there's so much of this spread out. So much bandwidth is required to be able to learn this the proper way. That's why I taught it this way. I knew this was going to happen. I knew piracy was going to be through the roof and everybody would copy it. And there it is. So I'm building that YouTube channel to starve all the pirates and thieves that are in here. Because why are they going to pay you when I'm giving it to them for free over there? Simplified, and there it is. And they don't need me to tell them where it's going to go next, like I do for all of you here. That's the distinction. You have access to me in a forum that I can see those comments, just like I can read those comments over there on that YouTube channel. They help guide me. And it also helps me be a better mentor here for all of you. And I've shown you as a community, and I've shown the world how much these people expect in terms of, I want a good response from ICT. Could you, honestly now, could you answer 1,500 to 2,000 emails in 48 hours? How about a week? How about a month? That's what I get a day. So please don't cry to me in either an email or a forum post or on my YouTube channel about how I don't have time to get to your individual email. Folks, I wish I could. I wish I could do that. Sometimes these weightier emails get pushed to me and maybe 500 or so a week I go through with those. But I'm not answering emails out of innercircletrader@gmail.com. They get filtered and they get pushed to an email address that none of you are going to have. And then if I'm going to reply, I'll go into that email through the Gmail account. That's what I'm doing because I can't manage it all. I'm the only person, folks. I'm the only guy, okay? I'm the brain trust. So when the questions come, my staff can't answer those. And if it's something that's simple or whatever, they'll direct them to, it's taught in the commentary, stay with it. The lessons will address that type of thing. And it sounds like they're being pushed aside and dismissed, but the reality is that's the truth. But the weightier matters, the things that seem really pressing or whatever, and sometimes very touching types of emails, my staff will push it to me. And I'll look at those. Some of you might think, well, that's not fair. You're supposed to be my mentor. I am. But I'm one person. And I feel like Moses sometimes. Okay. I can't handle it. Like it's so much on my shoulders And I want to be able to do it all. That's the problem I'm struggling with. Like, I want to do it all, but I can't. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time in the day. I don't have time in the week. And I still have to be a man of family, a husband, and I have my own personal pursuits I like to do that have nothing to do with trading. When I did that 1440 series on YouTube, that was really just to kind of like subtly remind all of you, wow, how does ICT manage all this stuff? Yeah, it's hard. My wife is pissed off on a weekly. Okay. She's like, aren't you going to be done with this soon? And I'm trying my best to get all these things done. So that way, when we work together on this mentorship community, it will be through the forum and I can post things in chart and type it all out and it's done. And I can be more involved with my wife who feels like she's been cheated because she has been. My children have been cheated because they have been. The last 6 years, they have had things stolen from them. My attention, well, everything. So none of you have the right to complain to me about that. None of those things. They are the real victims here, not you. Each of you have all been given generously by me. So I hate to do these kind of videos here, but sometimes, I got to shake the tree a little bit and remind some of you that are just so self-absorbed and you can't see what's really going on because I'm not explaining it to you. Okay. I don't need to explain everything I'm doing. Frankly, I haven't had the time to do. I'm just 100 miles an hour trying to get these things completed, and problems with people's accounts. They can't get certain things, connected. And even when I try to fix their password, it's still causing a problem. So then we got to go back in and take them completely out of the forum and put them back in, and nobody's joining. So please stop asking me why new members are coming, because there's a new member down there at the bottom of the forum. It says there's a new member. It's the same old member that we could not get their password to resolve. So we have to take them out of the forum and out of the server and put them all back in again. And it takes about 45 minutes to do all that each time. And sometimes I have to help them do it because they do something either incorrectly or the server's acting squirrely. And I have to go in and stop whatever I'm doing to do that. So please, before you get a case of the ass and you want to sit down and complain to me in any manner or any medium whatsoever, know that I'm already working my ass off. And I don't appreciate you complaining, okay? Because I've over-delivered. I know I have over-delivered. And if you can't make it work, that's on you, because I'm proving it works. I've done exactly what I told all of you to do for 6 years. It's been this. Take what you have learned, pick one PD array, one thing that you like that makes the most sense. And I took the one that's most visually accessible, the fair value gap. I knew by laying it in the hands of YouTube, number one, I'd kill everybody out there that's trying to market it as their own. Secondly, it would be easy for them to grasp. And by default, it helps them understand optimal trade entry. But I also would show you all that were stubbornly kicking and complaining about how you can't make any of these things work because you want me to lay it in your hands. And the next step would be, okay, can you trade it with me in front of me so I can copycat you? And then when I don't do that, then I'm a terrible mentor. Oh, I can't learn from this guy. It's amazing how many people over there on YouTube, when it was just dropped, and how many months have I been doing over there? Was I with them every single day? No. Twice a week. And they're already doing things in their own YouTube channel with what I taught. Executing, pushing the button. I can't get a lot of you to even do that in the mentorship forum. Think about that. Why aren't you doing it? Even if you fail, why aren't you doing that? That's how you learn here. You engage. The people that have complained to me are the same ones that have never made a forum post one time. They never sent a question about anything during the process at all. But now they want to complain because I'm on YouTube. That's bogus. Sorry, you don't have a box to stand on when it comes to something like that. So Anyway, I had to get it off my chest because if I didn't do it here, it would probably materialize somewhere else in my personal life, and I don't want that. So I'm under a lot of stress, and a lot of pressure, trying to get all these things done. And yes, all those price action models and the algorithmic theory and principles, those videos will be done, and they will all be uploaded the same day. When they're all done, they'll be done. Okay, and the links to the 2017 and 2018 gap that's missing. There's going to be user groups overlapping. I already mentioned that, but I'm going to do my best to have that done. So that way, the last week of this month, there will not be any commentaries by me because I don't want you watching anything. I want you downloading everything that is remaining. That's where your time is going to be spent. And 9 p.m. on June 1st, 2022, those areas on the forum will be gone. Then we'll be communicating just through the forum, posting charts. You make your comments or your questions, not in text anymore. I'm going to spell out the very last video I do. I'm going to show you how to use TradingView. So that way, if you have questions, I'm going to show you how to create the chart and then show me how you need something answered in the chart. So that way I will be able to save so much time, because 99% of the time when I get a technical question sent to me, they're so vague in the way they're questioning or asking me. Like, why didn't you use the fair value gap on Euro this morning? What time frame? What fair value gap? Was it a premium fair value gap? Was it a discount fair value gap? Show me in the chart, because that's how we communicate as a community, and everybody benefits from it. That's why I'm also doing this, because I'm so tired of making different copies of videos. It's tiresome. I hate it. So I'm looking forward to not having to do this. And you're going to see it's going to be so much better, and your time will be freed up. My time's going to be freed up, and I'm going to be a lot happier. And a happy mentor is a better mentor. Okay. So that's going to be it. I'm starting to ramble. So I'll touch base with you all, obviously, on Wednesday, midweek review, and in the video I'll post tonight on YouTube. Until I talk to you then, be safe.